DJ, I'll start with you first. When you have such an embedded story with people who, you know, live with every detail throughout their lives, how do you add to that? How do you work with that, and still try to keep everyone as happy as you can because there's so many different ways it can go wrong.
Good question. Well, I think most importantly is the love of the story and the love of what Mary represents to me personally, how I can just anchor in that and tell the story the best way that I know how. Yes, you can have a Catholic background or this background or a Jewish background or you're evangelist. It doesn't matter to me if as long as you tell the story with honor and love. And I really love this character and I loved Mary. And I thought I just want to anchor it in that. And my vision of this movie is for everybody. It's not for a specific group or a specific anything. This young woman's courage and what she went through had never really been explored cinematically in the way that we're exploring it, where you're immersed in her story. And I felt if I could immerse the audience in her story, no matter who you are, even if you're a person that doesn't have a lot of faith or doesn't have any at all, this is a young woman who was chosen to deliver a gift, right? Accepts this. She says, let it be me, I'll do this. And then all the obstacles and things that she has to overcome to deliver this gift at the end of the movie and all the things that are forces, you can enjoy this movie because this character is so compelling and she's so courageous that for me, I would kind of went in it blind and just said, I'm going to tell the best way I know how with the reverence and respect, but just really make it about her.
Speaking of Mary, you have someone who is going through all these things in a very dark time when everything is understood, everything's believable, and there's so many different things. We don't have all the science or technology and those things too. So how did you see Mary and how she perceived things that were happening to her? I mean, because that's essentially how you progress through the story.
Right. I feel like working on this character, we really wanted to make sure that we portray both her vulnerability and her strength, and it's the balance between those two things that make her human and that make her relatable. So you can see those moments in the movie where she's very vulnerable and you can tell that she's struggling, and those struggles are real and they're very human also. It's not just, divine struggles and divine challenges, but very, very human ones that I think everyone will be able to relate to. But then you can really see her take courage and you can really see her getting stronger, and you can see her faith and her belief, not just in God, but also in herself. And those are the things that really allow her to move forward.
Right. And you mentioned it like the contemporary world. If you put Mary's situations and you put what she's going through in the contemporary world today, it mirrors a lot of what the youth
Right.
are going through, right? She's sort of ripped from her family, and then she's also ostracized from the temple because she becomes pregnant, and then people want to kind of get after her, and then Joseph has to stand up, and then ultimately she has to say, "All right, I'm going to go through with this because I believe in who I am, and I believe I'm going to take God, I'm going to accept Him, what He wants from me." But it's really every like you mentioned it, like her story, it's timeless in a way, and that to me was an important aspect of why I wanted to tell the story now.
Well, and that's another thing too is like your aspect and your angle too. Everything from the cinematic to the action injections as well. Can you tell us about how that came about with this story and what you wanted to kind of add to it as it's unknown and you could create these things?
Yeah, well, it opened up the cinematic possibilities when you have King Herod, and what he wants to do, and sort of orders the slaughter of the innocents, and then you realize, well, as cinematically, what would it be like for the audience to be there with the camera when Mary's hiding with the baby Jesus, and how do I put them in situations? And fire to me was this incredible purification, and I wanted to add that element to the movie as well to say like this is sort of a new beginning. We're getting rid of everything, so you have fire, you have the tension of the Roman soldiers coming at them, and then also I always felt that biblical movies, I didn't want this to be the biblical movie where the donkey's being kind of led across the desert and Mary's sitting on there, and I just was so disinterested in that. I wanted the movement to have flow. I wanted Mary to be able to ride a horse and to be somebody that we can relate to and understand that there's a human aspect to her story. So that was vital for me to get across.
What do you always have something in development. Is there anything you're working on next or anything you have coming up? We have a lot of different things we'd love to see come back as well, but is there anything
Yes.
you have in the pipe that you're
Yeah,
actually working on?
I'm really working. I have this script called The Delivered, which I really love. It's I would say like a hell and high water cross with The Fugitive, about two brothers that are on a journey, forced to go on a journey, and the relationship and the forgiveness that they have to get before all things explode and everything hits the fan. So it's a really good character drama based in an action scenario where it's a movie thematically that's about forgiveness and can you forgive somebody? And what does it take? What does it take to forgive somebody? Are you letting yourself free and your anger, or are you really letting them off the hook? And it's a really, really strong piece. So that's what I'm going to do next.
Understood. Well, thank you very much. I hope everyone in your world's is happy and healthy. Have a great holiday as well. And we'll make sure to talk about this. Very
Great.
good.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Take care.
Pleasure. Thanks,
Bye.
Al.